Do appreciate you listening and tuning in for Savannah Lexicon here on WRUULP. And again, every Tuesday and Thursday from 8 till 9. And so, the world-famous general disclaimer: the viewpoints expressed in the following program are not necessarily those of WRUU, its license holder, or its staff. Okay, got that out of the way. And again, just to remind you, WRUULP, Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings, community radio with global soul. And today, I've got with me Craig Butts, who is a co-founder of Unity in the Community. How are you doing, Craig?
Well, outside of the fact that we got a little lost getting here, which tells me GPS is not always correct if you follow them. We're actually glad to be here this morning, actually.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you made it too. Yeah, you got to watch those GPS sometimes. Definitely. I think there's sometimes a revolution in the machinery that's.
I think so too. They have a mind of their own sometimes.
Trying to jack with us, I think, sometimes. Okay, so let's talk about unity in the community and that kind of thing a little bit. It is a nonprofit, and to I think quote off of your website, if I may, it says promotes unity through culturally diverse fun events and educational activities for youth and families, inclusive of all ethnicities. And I think further in there, it says the call for cultural diversity is the call of humanity, imploring us not to judge each other by physical characteristics, cultural values, or philosophical differences. It calls us to understand, acknowledge, and accept our diversity because of the unlimited opportunities it provides our nation and the world. So, a big picture and worthwhile kind of philosophy, to say the least. And by the way, let me just say that in many ways mirrors the idea behind WRUU. We are trying to be a station that is very community oriented and that brings a diversity of voices and music, for that matter, to the community as well. So yeah, we're very much in line with you. I'm glad to have you in this morning.
Well, we're glad to be in here this morning. I'm glad to hear that this radio station has that kind of philosophy. It's an ideal kind of philosophy. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
We're trying to bring it to fruition so it's more of a reality.
Yeah, absolutely. And everything that can work in that process is good. So you guys have been going, or you've been a nonprofit at least since 2013, if I have it correct.
Exactly.
Okay. So just tell us a little bit before we get into exactly what you do and the River Street thing and all that, but get us a little bit into now it's the co-founders, you and your wife, I believe.
Exactly. We're kind of like a dynamic duo, if you may want to say.
Okay.
She's actually a teacher too, which is why she's not here. She's back to school. I think she's listening because there's no kids in the class, but she's back at school.
Right, because they actually start, I guess, technically Thursday, I believe.
I think so. At least in the Richmond Hill area. Yes,
yeah.
Georgia.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, so just tell us, how did y'all have the idea for this Unity in the Community organization? How did this kind of start and blossom?
Well, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that both my wife and I, especially, did event coordination for some time before in the past. I'll start with my wife. She worked with her daughter in the Denver area where they did what you call the Black Arts and Crafts, I think, at Festival in Denver sometime years ago, where I met her. Before that time, I was doing arts and craft festivals in the Omaha and the Kansas City area in malls. In fact, I think in Omaha was the first one to actually do those kind of events in malls. I did it for about several different years. Yeah. And I saw that the diversity in the different artists that we had that came to our particular events, from Native Americans to African Americans to Asians and so on and so forth, brought such a how can I say it, universal look of people and feel of people to malls, that I thought this was a very good idea to continue on. And of course, with the basis of the different ethnicities that were there, it looked like a good unifying way of getting people together.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal. So what brought y'all to Savannah?
Brought us to Savannah was something to do with my wife and I wanted to come up with a centralized place for us to come and enjoy ourselves, since this is our second go around, if you may want to say, in marriages.
Right.
So we decided of a neutral place. It was one of those things between male and female where we didn't want to lean more one way or the other, so we came up with a neutral place.
Okay.
I wouldn't say we threw a we threw a arrow at the map and said, okay, Savannah looks good. But we just heard a lot about Savannah, so we decided to come down and visit Savannah and said, we don't like the snow. She's the Denver area. I'm from the Kansas City, Missouri area. I met her in Denver, and so we don't like the cold. We don't really like the snow. Let's go someplace where we can enjoy the water. And we both enjoy water, and that's how Savannah came about.
Okay. Well, you certainly not going to get any snow here.
No. Though I've heard more than once they claim snow has came
I mean, if you call about 3 flakes actual snow, then yes, technically it has snowed in Savannah. But I think the odds are real slim of any significant snow, and certainly plenty of water and coast and all that. So.
Your humidity is what I'm trying to get used to. I hear you're never going to get used to it.
I'll tell you, I'm not sure you do ever get completely used to that. Boy, it can be rough sometimes, but but still, it's a beautiful, gorgeous city, and hey. There's something about the weather almost anywhere you can complain about. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't care. It's either too cold and too much snow and ice, or it's too hot, or it's too humid, or it's whatever it is,
except
too dry,
Except
whatever.
For maybe Hawaii. Okay, now there's some places there people don't complain too much about.
Well, that may be. That may be. However, if you think Savannah's expensive to live in, and it's not cheap, man, Hawaii is. I just saw a statistic. Hawaii is the most expensive place to live in the U.S. So.
I believe it.
There's that too. But anyway, all right. So, okay. So that's good, and a good organization. Now, your sort of your signature event, I think, is probably the River Street. The River Street thing that goes on. And I saw y'all in the paper. I was aware of you before that, but I did see you in the paper here recently.
Really?
You didn't know that?
No, we show up at the papers here. We've been on probably every television stations interviewed.
Yeah.
I really don't keep track of it. Probably I should, but I really don't. But
all right.
Thank you. Which one is that, by the way?
Well, it's the Savannah Morning News.
Savannah Morning
News. Yes. Okay. It's Monday, July 17th.
Oh, wow.
So very recently, and it talks about in your past unity on the community at Rusacas Plaza on River Street, that you guys were taking, I guess, a portion of the proceeds of the day and buying some school supplies for Savannah's children. Have I got that right?
That's correct. I mean, a part of our portions in Lagos, part of our portions, of course, are used to pay for the actual expense of the venue itself and all of its overhead involved. And of course, we also allot the arts and crafts people are there a chance to be able to show their wares to all the tourists down there. They're kind of like starving artists too. So that's one of the things that we do. But outside of that, we do have on our teaching side, when it comes to young people in the community, we have that give back program called Downtown Trip for Us, where we bring young people from one of the housing communities. I don't call them projects, Fraser Homes to be exact. We have a young lady who's kind of over a program over there called PAC. And we bring those young kids downtown on River Street on Saturdays between 12 and 5 o'clock and give them a chance to get out of their environment and see something different. It really opens and expands their mind. We're really proud of that particular program. Okay, that's nice. And that's called what? It's called Downtown Trip for Us. Okay, that's good. That's good. All right, excellent, excellent. Yeah, that's sometimes getting young people in those kinds of environments out and just, as you say, just kind of showing them a different world, as it were, is it can make an immense impact on them. Get people out of their environment. If their environment could be negative or is negative, get them into another environment. Always gives them what I call the power of choice. Excellent, excellent. Okay.
And you said your wife, I think, is a teacher. Is that correct?
Yeah, she's an English teacher.
Okay,
at that.
all right.
I have to watch myself too around with my wife, by the way.
Is she one of those who's like grading you on your?
I don't even want to talk about it. Really, I don't.
Okay, all
and
right.
I'm in mostly writing everything too, but that's another story.
Okay, all right. But anyway, so just to, I'm glad you brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
Just to stay for just a minute though on the Rusacas Plaza thing. It's the third weekend of every month.
Third weekend of every month, of course. August 19th to 20th is our next one.
Okay, and April through until December.
All the way to December, yes.
So, okay. And essentially you have a whole lineup there of folks, arts and crafts people, as you say, in the area.
Yes. And I do want to mention, we do have a local spot that we keep over for the young talented young people in this community that doesn't get much exposure. So on that stage down there, we let a lot of young people come down and get a chance to get their exposure with what I call clean family fun content in their music. But we let them do that, and they enjoy themselves. People all over the world come down and enjoy themselves, especially on Saturdays. They really enjoy themselves. Mm-hmm. And then on Fridays, no, not Fridays, I'm sorry, it's on Sundays. It's kind of slower paced then. It's more kind of place where people come down to relax. We kind of do like the Motown sound. In fact, we got a guy that does the Motown sound with Mr. Brown. Yeah. In fact, they have appointed me to be Mr. Brown. I do the Motown sound on
Is
Sunday.
That right?
Yes.
All right. Well, I believe you could pull that off. Just hearing you so far today.
I used to do in radio a long time ago.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, and as I understand it as well, we'll go ahead and say that I think that there is a special kind of thing coming up August 12th, Unity in Forsyth Park. Is that right?
Oh, man, you do your diligence in finding out information.
Sure.
Well, my friend.
I try to.
Yes, we do. We have decided through our board members that we need to once in a while do some other outreach in different venues in the urban local community. So we decided to look at Forest Park being like a cross-cultural park within Savannah, and decided to do our first annual Unity in the Park Festival. So we're trying to get a whole bunch of communities come together, come out and enjoy themselves, be on the spray pad, listen to, we got 4 or 5 different good style musicians who are coming out, and people just come and relax, enjoy themselves. Got a couple of vendors out there, but we also have quite a few nonprofit organizations who are going to come out too. Oh, okay. So that people who come out get a chance to know about their nonprofit organizations who want to do things in the community.
Okay, good. So that's August 12th.
August 12th from 1 to, I don't remember the time, 1 to 5, something like that. 1 to 7 maybe, I don't know.
All righty. But now that's just a special one. Typically, it's going to be on River Street as usual.
Typically, we usually keep on River Street. It's a lot of work even on that one.
Oh, I'm sure. Okay, so that's it for Forsyth Park, August 12th. Good deal. All right. Excellent. Now, what else can you tell us? I know that you're involved in various kinds of things, and you talk about giving, there's a lot of information passed out at whatever event you're doing. And as you say, particularly with the Forsyth Park thing coming up, but in general, I think nonprofits are there sometimes.
Yes.
And giving out information that are of help. And I think, if I'm correct, each one of your Unity in the Community events, particularly on the river or on Forsyth Park here, don't you sort of take some of the funds and give it to some particular cause for that month? Do you make a choice every month?
Well, it all depends. I mean, the most amount of money, of course, when it comes to giving to a certain organization or the organization that's connected with us. PAC, the organization that has to do a particular project downtown, Trip for Us, those kind of funds goes to that to be able to support that. We have very more activities we want to do with those young people. We eventually want to take them to, there's an African American museum that just opened up here. We want to take them to that. Okay. We also in turn are partnering with and I can't remember exactly what its name is, but it's a Savannah Conservation or the Chatham Conservation organization, where they want to come in and teach some of the young folks how to be able to be self-sustainable, teaching them how to be able to grow food in their yards, in these boxes. So we're going to be partnering with them. They're going to take funds for doing that. We eventually would like to be able to pick up a lot more young people in the different housing communities here.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to need the funds, hopefully, to be able to get some bigger buses, because there are quite a few young people that usually come to our particular programs. They start off with 10 and 20. Now we're getting 40 with parents. And not only are the young mothers coming, but we're also getting the fathers of those parents. So we're very excited about it. We really want to expand this program, expand it to maybe trips out of town, expand it to maybe doing some day camps for them. There are some things that we really want to expand on this.
Okay. All right. Excellent. And I think, I don't know, through the years at least, I think, according to some information I've come across, you've done things like a food drive for the homeless, a food pantry kind of thing.
Yes.
You've been involved in certain training, maybe for young people of various kinds, school supplies again, as you did here recently. So.
Yes, and we've also partnered with, since you're bringing that up, and there's so many stuff we did, I don't remember it all. One of them I think we did, two when it comes to my mind, is the West Broad Street YMCA. They had a back-to-school kind of event, and we provide the entertainment for them. I know also there was a Put Down the Gun, Stop the Violence event that was done through some particular program at Daffin Park. We provided the entertainment. One of the biggest things, since you're bringing that up, that we try to do is provide the entertainment arm for a lot of the nonprofits. We're still looking at being able to help that in the future too. Whenever they're putting on an event, whenever they're putting on an organization or donation kind of thing, we don't have no problem providing that entertainment part itself. I'm an audio engineer, been an audio engineer for quite a while. I have more than one particular PA, what you call reinforcement system. I've been doing this for quite a while. So it's part of my way of giving back. In fact, that's what we did for Unity Give Me. We provided the audio system equipment. And then we trained a lot of young people to get some on stage live, if you call a training. And in fact, we got a young person right now by the name of Benjamin Adams. I guess he's the nephew of the first African-American mayor here, who basically has one of our systems, and he's been utilizing it very well in his endeavors in life. So we try to give back to young people and let them know that it's not always important to be in front of the camera, in front of the mic, but sometimes behind the mic, you find behind the camera is also a good thing to do.
Yeah. Okay. Good deal. And then you're talking about entertainment. I mean, can you describe the entertainment that you generally provide in some sense? I mean, you're talking about music, I would think.
Yes,
generally.
I am talking about music. Yes,
and
definitely.
any particular genre?
We're
or
talking about genre as well. We probably shock people mostly on Saturday, especially from 7, 10 o'clock, I think it is. We have what we call the River Street Party, where we have two DJs down there. I call them Batman and Robin when they're down there, DJ and Protocol. And basically, they really hype the crowd up. And we get people from all over the world that come down and dance and do things like the nene and all those kind of dance young people do, which I don't do. And we find that genre of music, and the young people that come down and do that genre of music, whether it's called hip hop or whether it's called the trip hop, we always make sure it's family fun, because there is a lot of family fun. I mean, lyrics that are in turn not cursing, are not vulgar, that are in that particular genre, though people don't think so because of stereotypes, but they do exist from that. And we're trying to give them more of that opportunity, what they call conscious, if you may want to call music down there. So anyway, we get that kind of enjoyment. I mean, I've seen people, I think last week we saw 3 or 4 ladies from the New York area, and they were out there dancing to all the younger folks music with the younger kids out there.
Oh, yeah?
And they were ladies who were from some part in New Jersey, as they were saying, and they were definitely, every one of them, over 50 years old. They were having more fun than I was.
That's good to hear. Love to see that. Yeah, you don't have to be a teenager or a 20-something to have a good time and enjoy yourself.
No doubt about it.
And really, hey, if it's got a beat, that's the thing, man.
That's what I see.
Yeah, you got a beat.
You got to come up and see this. I mean, people from all cultures, all different backgrounds, all different ages. We saw a lady who was in a wheelchair, and someone was pulling her wheelchair behind her, and she was dancing. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I love it. Okay. All right, good deal. All right. Now, you said you were in radio. What you were as an audio engineer?
Yeah, you really do your work, don't you?
Well, no, you just told me that. Now.
Okay,
I'm just
well,
picking up on that.
Okay,
I am listening.
Okay.
I may be looking at some dials occasionally and stuff like that, trying to keep things under, but I am listening.
I don't talk about that a lot. Most people, when they hear me talk, they go, especially when we go to different radio stations to get things done, they go, "You've been in radio before, haven't you?" Yeah, I have. Years and years ago, I was in radio, cable radio. Over-the-air radio. I did mostly DJing, if you may want to call it, then on the jazz end, which I really enjoyed. But that was years and years ago.
Okay.
My audio engineering, which is on the back end, on the other end of the mic. I've been an audio engineer for years. I've actually I was the engineer for a low-power radio station years ago in Omaha, Nebraska. I was the engineer there. I was the first one to actually move the low-power Collins, what they call a transmitter itself from one place to another particular place. I've also been in the TV industry where I was a cameraman. I also in turn operate the main control boards. So I've been in the radio and TV industry on the other side.
Well, we need you here. I think we need you here.
Oh, why would you say that?
We have to talk about that after the show's over.
You're doing well right in front of me.
All right. Well, we are just about at the halfway point, folks. So hang with us. We're going to just kind of catch our breath here for just a minute, and we will be back very, very shortly. I promise you that. So hold on. We'll be here and speaking more with Craig Butts, co-founder of Unity in the Community. Good. So hold on.
This portion of WRUU-LP Savannah Soundings programming is made possible by a grant from Sentient Bean, offering fair trade coffee, vegan and vegetarian food, and breakfast all day. Located at 13 East Park Avenue, across the street from the tennis courts at Forsyth Park. Our menu and special events listings can be found at sentientbean.com.
And just to remind you, you are listening to Savannah Lexicon here on WRUU-LP, Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings, community radio with global soul. And speaking of Global Soul, I want to let you know about a concert coming up. Trinity Sanctuary Concerts presents an evening of gypsy jazz with the Stefan Rimbel Band. Stefan Rimbel is one of the best gypsy jazz guitarists in the world. Experience this concert, and WRUU will benefit with a $5 donation for each ticket sold. Concerts at 7:30 p.m. on September 21st at Trinity United Methodist Church, located at 225 West President Street on historic Telfair Square. Tickets can be bought at the door or in advance at www.tickley.co. That's www.tikly.co/events/2151. So do be aware of that coming up. Also, as a business, for those of you who are maybe listening out there who are associated with a business and perhaps a business owner or a corporate person, as a business, if you enjoy our programming on WRUU-LP, please support the station with a donation. Let your customers, neighbors, and friends know that you share our vision of building a thriving community based on diverse, vibrant radio programming. As a business partner, our listeners will know you support Savannah's only broad-based community radio station. Become a tower sponsor or underwriter. To check out the levels of corporate sponsorship and to donate, go to www.wruu.org/business. Again, to check out the levels of corporate sponsorship and to donate, go to www.wruu.org/business. Thank you for listening to and supporting WRUU-LP. And we are back. Thank you for listening to Savannah Lexicon. I'm Wayne Waters. I'm talking with Craig Butts, co-founder of Unity in the Community. Yes. And I know, Craig, that you want to talk a little bit about sort of the underlying philosophy, as it were, that underscores unity in the community. We talked about that a little bit in the beginning, in the opening. A call for cultural diversity. And so just give us a little more feel about that and kind of what your ideas are and what the ideas are that underlie unity in the community there.
Well, I in turn see that in many areas, even here with people we talk to and stuff, we understand that unity is kind of more like an ideal than it is much of a reality. It's one of those things that we kind of have to work on in society in this world.
Absolutely,
think
yeah.
about it. We kind of believe in unity and community that there's unity in diversity.
Yeah.
But there's also diversity in unity.
There you go. Got to think about that a minute, but it's true.
Yes, exactly. And so we feel it's our responsibility to bring friendship and love from your ethnic culture together with other ethnic cultures and express that in your local community, state, and the world. And so that's what we're trying to do with the different diverse people who are part of Unity Community. But we believe that other ethnic people who in turn should do the same thing too, or feel comfortable to be able to do the same thing. Unity Community tries that on River Street, and we were talking before about how the music brings so many different people from different cultures there, and we see that. I guess they say music is a universal language. There's no doubt about it. It's a universal language, and it brings a lot of people together. We feel that to allow people around the world to come together, especially in one place, to show that they can actually live together in peace. So one of the things that we do, because a lot of people talk about unity, and we know it's built around many times, churches, clubs, fraternities, sororities, families, housing communities, businesses, and ETCs.
Yeah.
But we believe there's nothing wrong with that. Yet once in a while, we need to get together and come to an event that celebrates all of us, diverse Americans, world citizens, finally, people that are created by God. So that's one of the things that we try to do at most of our events, is trying to, in turn, get people just to come together, different ethnics, different backgrounds exclusively, and enjoy themselves together.
Okay. And that's certainly a laudable endeavor. I mean, because it is true that with a number of sort of community organizations that sort of arise, It very often is made up of very, very similar people who are of a given type. And now, and don't get me wrong, and as I understand it, you're not suggesting that's a bad thing at all. As a matter of fact, you said that is a good thing, and it is. Neighborhood associations, sororities, fraternities, whatever it may be, those are great things, and particularly insofar as they increase sort of involvement in the community, not only in a very small section of Savannah, but I mean in the broader context of Savannah and in the political and cultural world of Savannah, to the extent that they are kind of energized for that sort of thing. That's all very, very good stuff. I'm not for a moment putting that down, and as I hear it, neither are you. But as I say, often those groups, those little communities that form themselves, if you will, are homogenous to a large extent, and they can be to a large extent. And so, what you're talking about here, as I hear it, is just a real call out for something that just brings really different, varied communities and peoples together. And as you suggest, the fact that if you bring them together with something that's enjoyable, and something that's fun, might be a little music there and a little stuff going on. That's a good way to bring different communities together. So I agree with you wholeheartedly in what y'all are trying to do.
And we call that a holistic approach.
There you go.
There's no doubt about it. Giving people something warm and fun and friendly to make them feel good when maybe their lives are not actually experienced. That is always important, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Yet at the same time, our holistic approach is we try to also bring information there that can help them out, so that when they leave that place, it's some information that can help them out in the neighborhoods or the camps or the places that they go back to, which is one of the reasons why we try to have nonprofit organizations to also be at our event, so they get that chance to get in front of their, I won't say customers, but the people they want to help, and the people that they who need some help many times can get that likewise information back in return.
Yeah. And that's good, because I'll tell you one thing about Savannah I have discovered moving back, because I didn't grow up here, but I lived here earlier once upon a day, and moved away for years and have come back for good this time. And I still am struck, and I was even back a ways. Man, there are loads of social services and nonprofits who making efforts to help folks who need help in all sorts of ways, whether it's in terms of housing, medical care, trying to stem the tide of violence that washes ashore here sometimes, and all sorts of other things. So I mean, there's no end to the organizations that are out there to help people. Sometimes it's just that people don't necessarily know about it, or they don't take that sort of initial effort to make a move. So with things like what you're doing, to have nonprofits out there and being able to very easily at a nice, pleasant event giving out some information to people, that's really valuable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I would hope to say, I don't know how much time we have left. I want to also invite this radio station that was nice enough to give us a chance to talk about what we're doing, because we're trying to get the word out. We'd love to have you anytime show up at any one of our events and people know more about you. Your philosophy seems to be similar with ours. Whether it's on River Street or coming up right here at Forest Park. We'd love to be able to have you be part of that. We're always looking for good partners, art organizations, sponsors, or individuals who have that same kind of vision as we have: diversity, unity and diversity, and diversity and unity. It's both ways. So if you got that belief or that feeling, we'd love to have you be part of what we're doing, and we be part of what you're doing too at the same time. So both ways.
Well, I appreciate that. We may have to look into that. That sounds like an intriguing. It seems like a good match between organizations. So we will certainly see if we might be able to make that happen. All right. Well, we are getting set here a little bit low on time. We're getting ready to go to the very final section here. So, I don't know what we've covered a lot of ground here on what you guys do and your philosophy, and I'm glad that our listeners have a chance to be aware of you. I'm sure many of them already were, but for some, perhaps the first time they've heard about you and that kind of thing. But anything else in just the last few minutes that you want to kind of touch on about the organization, about the philosophy behind the organization, about any upcoming activities or what have you? Again, we got the big special event August 12th at Forsyth Park. So you guys, that's probably going to be in the late morning, early afternoon, I'm guessing.
1
in
to
general.
7 o'clock.
1 to 7. Oh, okay. You can be there a good while.
Yeah.
All right. So you're going to have, I guess, some things set up and some vendors set up and that kind of thing. You're going to have some nonprofits out there and giving out some information. Yeah.
And
okay.
the spray pad will be there too on that particular day. We're telling some of the people to come out. It's going to be a chance for you to sit down and do a picnic and enjoy yourself. Get to meet some new people there. Too. At the same time, we got 3 or 4. We have 2 women and 3 young guys who are going to be doing the music that particular day. Then we'll be playing some old school and new school kind of music too at the same time. So hopefully it will be kind of enjoyable, relaxed, laid back time out there.
Family friendly.
Family friendly. Oh yeah, of course. Always.
Absolutely family friendly. Everything y'all do is.
Yes.
And I guess, boy, we got to hope for good weather, man. Good weather.
Savannah is real strange about that.
I know. Yeah, we get these. It's almost like Florida. We get these usually afternoon rain showers, and sometimes they can be very heavy, but they usually don't last long.
Yes.
Is the good thing. They usually kind of come in and go, and then they're gone. But anyway, we'll keep our fingers crossed on the whole weather situation.
Yeah, you just reminded me. I haven't checked my weather bug. Was it underground weather thing as of yet? You're right. I better check that.
Yeah, I would. But hey, it'll be good. Hey, a little rain. My goodness,
That's true.
That doesn't hurt anybody. As long as you keep the electronics covered up and all that. But
that band show, I think, there will help us out quite well.
That's right. Yeah. So you'll be using that band.
Yeah,
show.
we'll use the band show.
Good.
We'll definitely use the band show for that.
Good. I mean, that thing seems underutilized to me. I don't know what it is. I don't see much going on out there. I
don't have the slightest idea. I'm sorry.
It's a nice setup, but. I don't know. I'm gonna have to get somebody from the city on and see if we can talk about that. Because it's such a nice facility, and it doesn't seem to be a lot. They don't get anything going out there much.
This is the second time that we've had the opportunity to be at Forest Park and provide, well, at least the entertainment. And the second time around, we're going to do entertainment. The first time we did it with, I think it's Reverend Carl Williams, who's now Representative Carl Williams, one of a program he does out there every particular year, Feed the Hungry. So we provided entertainment, I think, last year for them.
Okay.
So this is the second time we're out there. We're not only providing entertainment, but of course we'll be doing the whole event itself. I like that particular park, and you're right. I like the way the band show is set up. I like the way the eclectic look is. So, we're quite honored to have a chance to be able to do this.
Excellent. Well, I wish you much success
Thank
on
you
that.
Much.
And much success going forward.
Can we leave some information how people can get a hold of us? Are we allowed to do that? Or
yeah. The email or the website's just unityinthecommunity.org, right?
Yeah, I think you got to make sure you put the N in it, unity in the letter in the community. Am I correct, or I'm not for sure?
Actually, the way I got it, I just copied and pasted it, and it's actually the word in.
Oh yeah, okay, I-N. Okay,
I-N.
That's the email address. So your email address is unity. And then you got to put the word, the letter in the community. So it's unity, the letter in the community at hotmail.com.
Okay, good deal. All right, so well, we're gonna have to take it off at this point. But I do appreciate your coming in so much.
Thank you,
listeners. Hang on, I'm just going to take one of my little brief musical interludes and come back, and I've got some various announcements and things to mention in the last section here before we leave at the top of the hour. So hang on once more. Just a little break. We'll be back. Hey, all right. I'm back. It's Wayne. It's Savannah Lexicon on WRUULP, Savannah, Georgia 107.5. I am so happy you are still listening and haven't tuned out. Don't tune out. Don't tune out, because now I do have in the final section here, before the top of the hour, have some comments and try and point you to some interesting and worthwhile events and stuff going on in this fine city. So don't go anywhere yet. One thing I do want to let you know about is some of my upcoming guests. I'm going to have on Thursday, and by the way, if you weren't aware of it, it has been established by the, I guess, essentially by the Chatham County Commission, the Board of Commissioners. It has been established that this has been sort of designated as a storm or a hurricane awareness and preparedness week. I'm probably not getting the title of this thing precisely right, but that is kind of what's going on. There is information out there. There have been some changes in evacuation routes and that sort of thing. So I'm really pleased that I'm going to have a couple of representatives from SEMA, the Chatham Emergency Management Agency, on Thursday. And so that is quite apropos, as hurricane season, unfortunately, is once again upon us. So check in for that. I know that there have been some changes in evacuation routes and all that kind of thing. So you want to think about it. I know it's not something anybody likes to think about, but as Matthew showed us, reminded us last year, you just never know when something can come along like that, and you need to be aware of what you need to do. You need to be aware of where you can find out about things. You need to be aware of the evacuation routes, should it come to that. So I am pleased to have them coming on Thursday. Also, let's see, on the 8th, a week from today, I've got Cindy Kelly, Executive Director of Chatham Savannah Authority for the Homeless. Plenty to talk about there. There has been some interesting back and forth in the opinion pages of the Savannah Morning News on the homeless situation. And we'll have Cindy tell us about what's going on there. On the 10th, I've got Alderman Van Johnson of District 1. Certainly going to be an interesting conversation with him. The following week, I've got Executive Director of Step Up Savannah is coming in on the 15th. On the 17th, District Attorney Meg Heap. Very pleased to have her coming in and taking time from her busy schedule. And then on the 22nd, I've got Alderman at Large Brian Foster. So we've got some excellent folks who will have a lot of good information for you, the listener of Savannah Lexicon, for us, and looking forward to that. All right. So what else? What else is going on in this fine city? Today is there's going to be a national night out that heightens is between 5 and 8 p.m. in different neighborhoods in the town. And this is sort of to focus attention on crime and drug prevention, to sort of strengthen neighborhood spirit and police community partnerships. So a national night out tonight, 5 to 8 in various neighborhoods. You can go to scmpd.org to find out more about it, scmpd.org. All right. And let it be known it's a kind of a take back the streets kind of thing. It's a kind of a thing about not being intimidated and trying to make an effort to community partnerships with the police and that sort of thing. So worthwhile activity going on there. Also, today and tomorrow, free school supplies, Peach State Health, providing free school supplies while they last. So don't tarry. While they last, from 8 to 9:30 a.m., so you have got only about a half an hour, about 40 minutes to get there, and hope there's still some supplies there. A little bit late warning on this, but still you got some time. West Chatham Middle School parking lot, but also noon to 1:30 p.m. at Savannah High School parking lot. Okay. So also August 2nd, tomorrow, 8 to 9:30 at Pulaski Elementary School. And noon to 1:30 tomorrow, Beach High School parking lot. So free school supplies, if you need some, you can get some. All right, August 3rd, day after tomorrow on Thursday, is, of course, the Savannah City Council meeting. They will be held this month on the 3rd, day after tomorrow, as well as the 17th and the 31st, 2 p.m., at Council Chambers, 2nd floor, City Hall. Go, listen, see what's going on. Be involved, be plugged in. Also coming up on Thursday at 6 p.m. at the Sentient Being on Park Avenue, League of Women Voters is going to have a meeting. It is open to the public. So the recently revived and very important voting organization, League of Women Voters, is going. They recently revived the organization here, the Savannah chapter of it, so they would be delighted to have you come out and just see what it's all about. And, you know, who knows, maybe you're a potential member, a new member of the League of Women Voters. All right. Okay. There are plenty of volunteer opportunities in Savannah, as always. And, you know, if you have a little time and you have heart, you might well consider some of these things. Ogeechee Riverkeeper, a laudable conservation-minded organization, is always looking for volunteers to help monitor the water quality with water testing in a waterway near you. That is something you might want to be involved in. You can contact Luke Robertson, luke@ogeecheeriverkeeper.org. All right, Humane Society. Humane Society is always seeking volunteers for a variety of things that you might do for them. www.humanesocietysav.org. Check into that. American Red Cross, my goodness, we all know about American Red Cross and all of the good work that they do on a consistent and continuing basis. They can use volunteers for administrative office support and for help during a disaster. And again, as we are kind of in a sort of hurricane preparedness week here, that's apropos to think about that as well, because unfortunately sometimes there are things that need to be taken care of during those. They have training available. The Disaster Action Team provides immediate needs to families affected by house fires and local disasters like a hurricane. Licensed health and mental health professionals are also needed. Now, don't misunderstand, you don't have to be that to volunteer with certain kinds of things for the Red Cross. You can be just anybody with a good heart and a good mind to volunteer for them. But they also do need licensed health and mental health professionals. Information 651-5321 and also online, but 651-5321 for American Red Cross. All righty. What else is going on? Oh, I do want to mention before I'm forgetting it that there is very good programming that follows me. So do be aware that at 9 at the top of the hour, a background briefing with Ian Masters gives a great national and world view on politics, and politics of a reasonable and progressive sort, rather than the other kind that seems to be ruling the roost these days in D.C. Following him at 10 o'clock is Democracy Now! With Amy Goodman. So a couple of good hours of really good national and international political commentary follows Savannah Lexicon, coming up very soon at 9 o'clock. So that's coming up too. So I hope everybody is going to have a good day today. How good it is can, in large degree, be dependent on what you make of it. So go out there and make it a very good day. I think it's going to be a pretty day. Hopefully no rain. That seems to be the kind of consensus from the weather wizards, that no rain shall fall today here in beautiful Savannah, GA. And so I'm just going to assume that's true. We do appreciate, as always, you listening to WRUULP, Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings, community radio with global soul. And do go out and make it a very good day for you. And tune in Thursday, once again, at 8 o'clock for Savannah Lexicon. And we will be talking with the folks from SEMA about the changes in evacuation plans and whatnot as we get ready for another hurricane season. And hopefully won't need any of it, but it's good to know about it in case we do.